Hi there, this is Terry at my Crooked House and Studio, and I'm out at my studio today. I just finished my deck last week. Very happy with the way it turned out. Yes, of course it's crooked, as per everything here, but I really wanted to put some galvanized pots out on the deck here, and I didn't want to have any like rust rings or whatever, so I built these little plant stands, plant risers, just out of scrap wood and some things I had hanging out in my garage, and I'm going to show you step by step on how I did it. I hope you'll join me. Let's get to it. All right, so I just did some like super simple, just little scallops on here. It ain't gonna be perfect, just like everything I do. This one here, I think I'm just gonna keep this the same size and maybe put some like rope detail or something around the outside of it. This one here, I ended up just doing a circle a little bit bigger than this, just to change it up. I don't want them all looking exactly the same. So this is my new saw that I just got for Christmas, which is only the second time I've used it. So let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm gonna come on out to my garage here and show you some of the things that I have. Obviously, I changed, this is what I got planned right now, but we'll see once I start putting on how it goes. But here's some really nice rope. I have tons, bins, like 5 bins of rope. It's ridiculous. So I need to, any project I can find where I can use some is good. This piece here, I really love it. I guess I'm a little leery of just using it like at the bottom of a flower pot, but because it's not easy to find this kind of stuff, that's for sure. Or if it is out there, I'm sure it's super expensive, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to see the flower pots all the time, so what the heck, I can use it. Here's something else I ended up finding, was like some copper tape, which is super cool, but it's way too skinny, so I don't think that's going to work. This is all holding all my old hardware. I do have a full tour, my garage tour, if you want to see everything I got in there. But I have a bunch of table legs here, and I have a bunch more over here, so I don't think I need to use those gigantic things for the flower boxes. I have a bunch of these guys here. I have a lot of those, so that's a possibility. Or I was thinking these ones, which obviously I would cut down. I think that would be a good option for like the flower shape one. I think that would be pretty cute. Maybe even do them like paint them pink or something. So there's all my bins of all my rope. Yeah. Oh, okay. 4 bins of rope there, and then a basket. So all right, we're going to move on to the next step. Yes, this is a project waiting to be finished. My shaker shingles on my studio and that, but okay. Doing the fun stuff right now. All right, so I think I've made all my decisions needed. I ended up taking these small ones here and just cutting the top off. Had to pull my chop saw out. That's definitely easier than trying to use a little jigsaw or whatever. So I'm using the top part here underneath my flower one, and I think 3 will be fine. And I ended up using the wood ones because I decided I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to take the stain that I use like on my shakes. I'm just going to use that same stain on that in there. The plants are colorful enough. I don't need anything more. And then I'm like, hey, well, I got a really good base right there too. So I'm using the bottom of them for this round one. And this is the one that's going for this pot here. And that's going to have this brass or copper or whatever trim around the outside of it. So I cut that to size, and then I drilled holes in it. So these are the screws. Of course, I want to use, because I have them, some old like Sears brass screws. So I want to use the screws on there. I may throw a little bit of hot glue. I got like a heavy duty, much more heavy duty hot glue gun and glue sticks. I might end up throwing a little glue on there. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. But and then this one here, I got my rope all cut through some of that. That's what I'm using, is that glue. No idea how old that is. I got that at a estate sale a long time ago, I'm sure. I just threw a little glue on the end to keep it from unraveling. I am gonna glue that all the way around the outside of this. And I'm gonna see, I got these really cool copper nails here, and they're not gonna go in far, but they'll go through enough, get in there a little bit, and the glue will hold it good too. But I think those little nails will look pretty cool, kind of showing through the rope. And yeah, this is what I ended up doing, just cutting one of those posts into different sizes, and I decided to go with 4 on there for holding that one. So that's a little bigger. These are the screws that I'm using to attach the legs to the base here. And actually these screws, they do even say on there, if you don't want rust, then don't use them, because they say they will rust. And I like the idea that they will rust. I'd rather use that than like the painted deck screws or whatever. I think that would look better. I don't want to use, I have a lot of old screws, but I don't want to use old screws because really they are kind of hard to use when you need something really secure. So I got everything sanded using my trusty little sanding block, because I tell you, using an electric sander anymore, it just sends my ears ringing for so long. So just needed to sand them up just a little bit, and they're kind of funky shaped, all of them. None of them are straight or perfect. Basically, if they were perfect, then they would stick out like a sore thumb on my property. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next step. All right, so I got it all glued on. You guys know how to glue, so I don't really have to show you that, right? And you know how to hammer too, but I don't know. I'll show you what I'm doing with the nails. I'm not measuring or anything. I'm just gonna go about every like 3 or 4 knots wise. And just putting them on there. So I don't know if you noticed the front of my studio, like right below my door, I got like this copper flashing on the bottom of my door to cover up some chipwood that I had there. And I also have the solar lights that are on top of my studio. Those are also in like copper wire. So anywhere I can throw a little bit more copper in to kind of match, that's cool. I wonder what these will do, if they'll just end up getting all green or whatever, which that'd be cool too. So they don't have to say shiny copper. That one went a little crooked, but oh well, it's fine. Actually, just like the perfect screws for this, with that little twist on there. Definitely just came from some estate sale. I doubt you can buy them at Home Depot anymore, that's for sure. But all right, I'll finish this up and move on to the next step. All right, so this one here, I just screwed it on I do not think I need any glue. I think the screws are going to hold it just fine. Definitely cannot get these screws in without having to drill. I already got holes in the metal, you've seen that. But this wood is very hard. And brass screws are very soft. And I'm finding it just easier just to use a screwdriver rather than trying to use a drill. I do understand why they have moved on to Phillips and Star and Square and all that kind of screws, because when it comes to using a drill, putting on a flathead at least once like this, oh, it's a lot more difficult. You just end up stripping them. So I'm just screwing it in by hand. That last little bit there is definitely, I don't know if I swear I'm screwing the hole in far enough. Well, there we go. So maybe I'm just like getting through the metal there. So I'm putting screws all the way around. They're all shiny now, but I'm sure they're going to tarnish all up. And then that one will be done. All right, so I don't know if anybody noticed. I certainly didn't, but I put this on upside down. Well, different than I had planned on doing it. I planned on this being the top and it kind of hanging down like this. But now that I did it wrong like that, I like this wood better. The other is veneer, so that's probably going to end up peeling off. But I kind of like the look of it just like that. And covering up the bottom. I think that looks pretty cool. So we're just going to keep it like that. So when it comes to putting the legs on, I found like I was trying to put the legs on and kind of line it up, but it's hard to do, trying to look underneath it or whatever. So I found that this kind of seems to work easiest, so you can line them up. It's just taking, and I'm just going to eye it. Obviously, if you are more of a perfectionist kind of person, you want to measure it, you can do that. But let's put a little glue on there. Then it just makes it a lot easier to flip it over and then screw them in. Gonna let that dry. Right, so I got them all glued on. Definitely easier doing it that way than trying to move them around and looking from underneath. I'm just going to put one screw in each of them. I think that will be fine. This is very hard wood. Ow! And careful, it's hot. But then just a little stain, and those will be done. I mean, it's like a little mini coffee table or something. I'm happy with it. So I totally got rained out the other day. Didn't get finished staining due to the last step, which I hate. I like finishing everything in one day if I can. But this is what I'm using. Don't know how old this product is. I've used this many times. This is all over my shakes and I love the color. It is Cedar Mist, but I'm not even sure if you can still buy it. Just using a chip brush. I always like to use gloves with this product because it's very sticky when it gets on your fingers, and then you have to use like mineral spirits or something to get it off. So I did like one leg here, kind of test it. see if I liked it. I knew I probably would, but it is a little lighter. This is probably going to go pretty darn dark, the top here. And I am, go ahead, I put some on the rope on the other side too. And I don't think it's going to hurt it at all. Help protect it a little bit more. So this one I'll do a close-up for you in a minute, but I did end up adding a bunch more nails. Like this is where I had the nails before, and I added another nail in between each one because I really liked the way it looked. I wanted to show off, and then of course I was like, ooh, I could put nails all the way around here. I'm not going to do that now. We'll see if I need anything else to it, and that's easy enough to add. So this is all I'm going to do. I kind of like the way it does age the rope a little bit too. So, and as you can see, I went flower shopping yesterday because I have to fill up all these pots. That's what I told my husband. It's for a video. I have to go shopping. All right. The next step will be the finished product, hopefully, all on my deck with lots of pots and filled with flowers. All right, I got them all stained up. They're just out here to dry now. Here's a close-up of the little nails. I'm really happy with how dark. I like how dark the legs turned out. That was just that treated post. They all are fun and different. I sent my daughter a picture of them, and she's like, I need those everywhere, because of course you can use these anywhere, on a tabletop, on a counter, wherever you want. All right, let's get putting some flowers in the pots. So I got my deck all decorated now. I think that's enough stuff. I know it's easy to do, just keep adding more and more things, but I'm very pleased with how the plant stands turned out. I did end up changing my mind on that brass pot. I just didn't like the way it looked. I think this one fits it a lot better. This terracotta one does have a lot of green on there because it was in the shade, so I'm not sure if it's going to end up losing the green since it's going to have a lot of sun, the afternoon sun. So that's the flashing. That's a copper flashing there. That's what I was matching my tacks with. And then also that's got the copper solar lights on there. I ended up adding, there's my Miss Misha. I ended up adding these little extra risers in there with the same wood because it really looked like the water. You can see the water was really getting blocked in there, so I thought that might help it kind of drain off a bit more. But I'm going to do a tour of everything that I've done on the outside of the studio here. I've had a lot of fun using a lot of vintage and antique things. So I hope you'll join me at my next video. And thanks so much for watching.